As you can see with background data, we are all the members of Umkhonto Wesizwe Liberation War Veterans, which is an organization linked to the African National Congress, njenge-motherboard. So njengesilapha nje sobathathu, we are the members of the provincial executive. My name is Phumzile Matikinca, in the communications, and next to me is Comrade Mandilake Dilema. He's a provincial chair of his Comrade Mvula Mtimkulu, who is part of the... Well, the purpose of this interview is a statement and paying tribute in the main to Comrade Dr. Bongani Noruka, who has passed on last week. We are burying him this Saturday at East London City Hall. So I'll give Chairperson Wetu to make some remarks or pay a tribute on the life of Dr. Noruka. Thank you.
Nkosi Comrade Matikinca, and this Buselena ku viewers zika BcmTv. We are really saddened as the community of Umkhonto Wesizwe Liberation War veterans by the loss of this outstanding revolutionary, Dr. Bongani Noruka. Dr. Noruka joined Umzabalazo at a very early age. He was a leader in the student movement when he was a student at the University of Natal. He was a leader of an organization called ZASO, which later became SASCO, as we know it today. He was a national organizer of that organization. He worked very well. That's where he was identified by the underground structures of the African National Congress, and he was recruited to Umkhonto Wesizwe in Natal. If you'll remember, Natal in those years, in the 80s, in the early 80s, was very, in Natal, Umkhonto Wesizwe was very active in Natal. There were many operations that took place in our quest to liberate South Africa. So Comrade Noruka was part of those machineries that defied the apartheid armed forces. That makes South Africa unworkable and apartheid. That makes South Africa ungovernable and apartheid unworkable. So we really pay tribute to somebody who has really worked in the African National Congress. He then later, owing to his activities inside the country, to go and join the external mission of the African National Congress in 1986, because the apartheid forces they really wanted him. Because some of the comrades he worked with were already jailed, the likes of Comrade Lulamile Xate, the likes of Dr. Bongani Noruka, they were already in prison in Robben Island. Bongani left the country when he was doing third year of his medical studies. You know, that tells you that he had a very bright future. He could have been selfish and studied medicine and enjoyed the luxuries of being a medical doctor. However, he decided to prioritize inhlupheko yabantu bakowabo, and he focused ekuzabalazeni for isizwe sakhe in South Africa. So whilst in exile in 1986, he underwent military training, Umkhonto Wesizwe, and then later the ANC urged him, especially Commissar Crisani, to go and finish his studies. And then he was sent to Zimbabwe, and that's where he completed his medical studies. Whilst there, he was also active in the work of the ANC. We must say, when he finished his studies, it was coincided with the unbanning of the ANC and all those who were in exile coming back to the country. And then when he came back, he worked at Cecilia Mapiwane And then he was also identified by the ANC to go and transform this local municipality, what we call today Buffalo City Municipality Metro. Then,
yeah, maybe to take from where our chairperson has left off, that for us as members of MK Liberation War Veterans, as well as the general membership of the ANC, what I think we can learn from what Comrade Bongani has done for our revolution. One is commitment, is resilience, and ability to sacrifice and be selfless. I think we need to take a lesson from that. It's then up to what we see as resilience from Bongani, or the late Comrade Bongani, to say to ourselves that in these times of difficulties, particularly us as members of MK, we're facing so many challenges. There are other organizations that seem to be coming up and claiming our legacy. But it's important for us, the message only for us as members of MK and as members of communities, is to say we need to be steadfast in our understanding of the ANC. The ANC has faced so many challenges, but right throughout its existence, we've always been able to pull through. We call upon those of us who are tempted sometimes to think that what is coming is something new, to be able to understand where they come from with the ANC and be able to analyze and see what is happening in our country for what it is. Siyabacela ke nabanye comrade abangathi bazibona into bangaphumela kwezinye izinto ukuthi bake.
Just my last comments on Dr. Noruka. For me, other than that he was a politician, he loved his community. He loved his family, nucleus family, as well as an extended family. Every time when you hear him or you visit him at his place, you'd find that there are many people around him, and he always talk about abantu bakowabo, especially Amabamba, because that's his clan name. So ebeyithanda kakhulu into Amabamba. Because this is important, Yobana, why is the city irrelevant? Because kulento omzabalazo awukwazi ukuthanda abantu uthi uzabakhulula kanti awubathandi aba unabo abantu kwi-immediate surroundings. Because i-task revolution, it was driven by hatred to apartheid system, but also by love to your people. Then the last point will be just to say that this coming Saturday, as we are finishing the funeral Saturday or at City Hall on the 17th, there will be an event here in East London again, where the Department of Social, Sports, Arts and Culture and Recreation, DSRAC, they will be honoring a number of people. Amongst them, there's a category of Liberation War veterans. So we are delighted that 5 of our veterans have been selected to be part of those awards as a recognition of their struggle. And their names is, the first one, Utata Utoyi Mtongwa, Useleti Frey. He was working in 1960. He left the country in the early 60s, but in about 1967 68, babesila kwinto ekuthiwa yi-1 Sipolino campaign eZimbabwe. Following one is uTatu Sipho Ndabani, naye ngowelwethu detachment. He's from Stakespruit. And then following that, it will be Tata Sydney Sili, walapha East London yena. He belonged to sabotage units where ezo zazifunishwe in 1960-61, so they were arrested immediately around 61-62. They never even had a chance to go to train, to go to exile. The last 2 comrades is Comrade Mangaliso Machobeni from PE, well known as Comrade Major. He was a member of a special ops with MK. It's one of those strong units. And then the other one is Abangu Comrade Tumisa Mroli Wasam.